come to a short presentation on Haiti. Haiti is a misunderstood and little known destination. So I want to change some of those perceptions and create a little bit of awareness. My name is Jean-Marc Flambert, and I'm the director of your tourism partner, and I've had the privilege and the honor to work for the government of Haiti, but also to work for the governments of Antigua and Barbuda, St. Lucia, and Sri Lanka. So I know a little bit about tourism and a little bit about the Caribbean in particular. I like to think of Haiti as Latin America with an African twist. And what I mean by that is it's a touring destination, and you will get everything that you'd expect from Latin America in terms of people speaking a different language, the perception that it's not very safe, mountains, nature, history, culture, music, dance, but also it's true, Haiti has some poverty, and I'm not saying that Africa is poor, but I'm saying the perception of Africa is poor. Haiti is tiny for mountainous land, and we are the second largest island in the Caribbean. We share the island of Hispaniola with the Dominican Republic. In Haiti, there are 12 million people, and there are over 4 million Haitians living overseas. So chances are you know a Haitian. Yet we're relatively undiscovered, despite being the leading tourism destination in the 1960s. Fred Astaire, Marlon Brando, Sophia Loren all used Haiti as their backyard, their playground when they were in the US. We're well serviced with many international airlines, including Air Transat from Montreal, and we're sold by several tour operators. To give you a little bit of an idea, in the north of Haiti, you have Cap-Haïtien, the international airport, which is our second international airport and our second biggest city. But in the center, we have Port-au-Prince, which is our international airport and our main city. In the north, you have the Citadel Henri, as it is put up on the map there. And a lot of people spend some time in Port-au-Prince, some time up in the north at the Citadel, and also going down to the coffee port of Jacmel and further along the west coast. So why Haiti? Haiti is driven by culture. It's driven by music and art. Our natural assets are the mountains. We have the second and the third largest mountain in the Caribbean, or the tallest mountain. We have waterfalls, caves, birds, and the beaches that you would expect from a Caribbean island. We have an amazing cuisine because of our influences. But most importantly, Haiti is about a story of hope, about slaves. Toussaint Louverture, Henri Christophe, who has Grenadian background, and Jean-Jacques Dessalines, three men who played a huge part in changing Haiti's history. It was supported by Boukman of African descent, but who lived in Jamaica, or actually was born in Jamaica, and also Cécile Fatima. And these people had differing influences on getting Haiti free, and the first Black Republic, the first country in the world to be free. In the late 1700s, Haiti was the richest colony in the world. 40% of all sugar in Europe came from Haiti. And these people, some of these names that I mentioned, started to believe that they could overthrow the colonial powers. And they started escaping into the hills from their colonial masters. And with the help of Boukman, a voodoo priest from Jamaica, they started to believe in themselves and pray to their gods, the voodoo gods, and believe that they could overthrow, till finally they launched that attack. And by 1803, at the Battle of Veritier, they were able to defeat the French. Now, of course, being the richest colony in the world, when the French were out, the Spanish came in, they were defeated. The British came in, they too were defeated. And this fortress, the Citadel La Ferrier, or Citadel Henri Christophe, was built, or they started to build it in 1804. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. But very importantly, this slave revolt and the statement that any slave that arrives on Haitian soil is free. The statement that if anybody comes to try to put you back into captivity, we, the Haitian people, will defend you, prompted two huge things. Number one, it made Simon Bolivar come to Haiti to understand how the slaves were defeating the gunpowder of the West. He set sail 2 years later with his revolutionary flag designed in Haiti, with 10,000 Haitian troops and money from the Haitian people to set Latin America free. Napoleon began to rethink his strategy and signed the Louisiana Treaty as he saw thousands and thousands and thousands of Haitians taking that voyage from Haiti to Louisiana. And he realized he might as well let go and accept his defeat. And he signed the Louisiana Treaty, bringing 13 US states back into the fold of America, which in part allowed for the creation of the United States of America. These are huge, significant things, and we invite you to come and discover how, discover when, and give support and solidarity to these people. Whether you're Black, white, Latino, whatever your background is, we have to respect and honor these people and Haiti for its role in changing and bringing about the free world. Our culture extends in our music, and while you may not know some of our Haitian performers, and we have many, you may have heard of Wyclef Jean, the Fujis, Killing Me Softly. Well, that whole band, Fujis, means refugees from Haiti. And with the exception of Lauryn Hill, all the others were Haitian. Jay Perry sang in Cars 3, Bouger. Jason Derulo, the FIFA 2018 official song was sung, and the official video, if you watch it, was filmed at the Citadel in Haiti. And we have many Europeans who've been fascinated by Haiti, many other singers from around the world, from Fred Astaire to Miriam Makeba, to Harry Belafonte, many who have referenced Haiti in their singing and their experiences. And in the 60s, a lot of celebrities hung out in Haiti. Haiti is a cultural, magical place. The art, from galleries selling $10,000 paintings to the streets. The streets are literally littered with Haitian art and very, very high quality. And you can find these in many hotels in the Dominican Republic as well. Even our public buses are all works of art, the tap-tap. And Haitians, and in particular, a community in downtown Port-au-Prince, where they are constantly working on metal art, turning oil drums into masterpieces and re-exporting them. We have beautiful museums, and the Mupana Museum is arguably one of the most impressive museums in the Caribbean. It has everything dating back from the era of the Taino and the Arawak people, Arawak canoe, to the times of the slavery, and even the anchor of Santa Maria, Christopher Columbus's flagship. And then we have beautiful architecture, the Olofsson Hotel, the culture, the architecture in Cap Haitian, in Port-au-Prince, the gingerbread houses, which have an influence from the Victorian era. Haiti is mountainous, so we have spectacular views, beautiful mountains, and we have a saying in Haiti, derrière mon guémon, behind a mountain, there's another mountain. And this just depicts the struggle of the Haitian people as year after year, they've had natural disaster, man-made disaster, natural disaster. But Haiti is beautiful. And these people who've had to become industrious and very hard to survive in Haiti are also very welcome. We have a lot of rain, we have a lot of forests, and we have beautiful waterfalls. And our waterfalls are unique because a lot of them are blue because of the mineral content. This is Bassin Bleu near Jacmel. This is Cascade de Pichon. And we have many hotels, some homegrown like Villa Thérèse and La Florida in Jacmel. Villa Thérèse is in Port-au-Prince in Pétionville. To international hotels like the Best Western, the NH, and Occidental, many international chains. We have a Marriott also in Haiti. And of course, Caribe Hotel. This is not a picture of Caribe, but Caribe Hotel, this is a picture of Plaza. Lots of beautiful Haitian hotels. Many of them on the beach, especially along the coast of Côte d'Azur, and beautiful waters. This is at Île La Vache. And many beautiful outlying islands that you can go by boat and explore, and really just unique experiences. Haiti is a huge population. By and large, the people have had a very difficult life. but they love tourism. There are a lot of NGOs in Haiti. There's always tourists in Haiti, large community development works that are being done, and the Haitian people are very friendly and love interacting and love, talking to you and trying to understand what you're doing. But the thing that is most important about Haiti is we are a nation of storytellers. We are natural guides. Everyone has a story they want to tell you, whether it's talking to you about the coffee port of Jacmel and how coffee was stored and exported out of Haiti, whether it is about our art and explaining how art is used as therapy, especially after the earthquake, or whether it is the story of the citadel. The fortress, the first fortress that was built away from the coastline. If you imagine in the 1800s, as gunpowder was created, everyone was trying to protect their borders. But when the Haitians defeated the colonial powers, they built this fortress 900 meters in the air and a couple of miles away from the coast. Right now by car, it takes you about half an hour to 40 minutes to get to the citadel from the coast and from Cap Haitien. And the reason for this was that we were trying to stop the colonial powers taking over and stealing and pilfering all of our things. We wanted to remain free, and that was more important than anything else. And so this fortress was built. There was never a battle that was fought, but today it houses the largest collection of cannons, cannonballs, and rifles from the 1800s. And in fact, the sister cannon of one of the cannons at the Citadel is at the Tower of London in the UK. And this is the Palais Sans Souci, which was built at the foothills of the fortress, because this was where the king was living, and he built it modeled on Versailles to show that Haitians can. And this is a very important part of it. And this is another side. Unfortunately, in the 1870s, there was an earthquake and it caught fire and burned down. Let me just show you a short video.
Là, on est pas seulement bonne force. Moi, ça m'y est vraiment.
C'est vraiment, c'est tout, c'est mon tout, c'est ma. Même, je suis l'humain.
The Haitian history may be considered of being the only time that a slave revolution actually generated the creation of a country. In Haiti, we have to understand that every piece of land means something. When you're at the top of the citadel and you look around, you see where the history of Haiti started. And one can even say the history of the Americans. When you're here, you can only be positive. Because when you see this fortress, you say Haitian can. It's time for the citadel to open its doors to all its sons. I'm not talking about just the people in Haiti. Everywhere. It's a symbol of freedom.
So that brings an end to this first of a series of little presentations on Haiti. In Haiti, we say "Sak passe," what's happening? And your response is "Na boule." We are doing well. We're managing, and there's that it's always we're managing. We're just about getting by, but it's in a positive sense. And you also say thank you very much. You say merci en pile, and I'm saying to you merci en pile because you have listened to the presentation, and by just learning a little bit about Haiti and changing your perception on Haiti, you have done the Haitian people proud. So So thank you very much.